Welcome to Vedanta Bhakti Pravachanam channel. Now we will see the second part of the chapter 5. In this, writer is telling about wrestling bout with Muhammadun Tambuli and change in Baba's lifestyle. To return to other stories of Baba, there was a wrestler in Shirdi by name Muhammadun Tambuli. Baba and he did not agree on some points and both had a fight. In this, Baba was defeated. Thenceforth, Baba changed his dress and mode of living. He donned kafni, wore a long coat, and covered his head with a piece of cloth. He took a piece of slack cloth for his bed and was content with wearing torn and worn out rags. He always said that poverty is better than kingship, far better than lordship. The Lord is always brother of the poor. Gangagiri was also very fond of wrestling. Once while he was wrestling, a similar feeling of dispassion descended over him, and at the proper time he heard the voice of an adept saying that he should wear out of his body playing with God. So he too gave up samsara and turned towards God realization. He established a math on the banks of the river near Puntambe and lived there with his disciples. Sai Baba did not mix and speak with the people. He only gave answers when he was questioned. By day he always sat under the neem tree, sometimes in the shade of babul tree near the stream, on the outskirts of the village. In the afternoon he used to walk at random and go at times to Neemgam. There he frequented the house of Bala Sahib Dengle. Baba loved Mr. Baba Sahib. His younger brother named Nana Sahib had no son. Though he married a second wife, Bala Sahib sent Nana Sahib for taking darshan of Sai Baba, and after some time, with his grace, Nana Sahib got a son. From that time onwards, people began to come in large numbers to see Sai Baba, and his fame began to spread and reach Ahmednagar. From thence, Nana Sahib Chindorkar and Keshav Chidambar and many others began to come to Shirdi. Baba was surrounded by his devotees during day and slept at night in an old and dilapidated masjid. Baba's paraphernalia at this time consisted of a chilim, tobacco, a tumbrel, long kafri, a piece of cloth round his head, and a satka, which he always kept with him. The piece of white cloth on his head was twisted like matted hair and flowed down from the left ear on the back. This was not washed for weeks. He wore no shoes, no sandals. A piece of sackcloth was his seat for most of the day. He wore a coffin, and for warding of cold, he always sat in front of Dhuni, facing south, with his left hand resting on the wooden railing in the Dhuni. He offered an obtaining of egoism, desires, and always uttered, Allah Malik. The masjid in which he sat was only a 2-room dimensions, where all devotees came and saw him. After 1912, there was a change. The old masjid was repaired and a pavement was constructed. Before Baba came to live in the masjid, he lived for a long time in place Takia, where the gungru tied on his ankles. Baba danced beautifully and sang with tender love, turning water into oil. Saba was very fond of lights, used to borrow oil from shopkeepers and keep lamps burning the whole night in the masjid and temple. This went on for some time. The Baniyas, who supplied oil gratis, once met together and decided to not give him oil. When, as usual, Baba went to ask for oil, they all gave him a distinct no. Unperturbed, Baba returned to the masjid and kept the dry wicks in the lamps. The Baniyas were watching him with curiosity. Baba took the tumbrel, which contained very little oil, put water into it and drank, and then forced it out to fall into the container. After concentrating the tin pot in this way, he again took the water from the tin pot and filled with all the lamps with it and lighted them. To the surprise and dismay of the watching Baniyas, the lamps began to burn and kept burning the whole night. The Baniyas repented and apologized, and Baba forgave them and asked them to be more truthful in future. The pseudo Guru Jawahar Ali. 5 years after the wrestling about mentioned, one fakir from Ahmednagar by name Jawahar Ali came to Ratha with the disciples and stayed in Bakhal near Veerabhadra temple. The fakir was learned, could repeat the whole Quran and had a sweet tongue. Many religious and devout people of the village came to him and began to respect him. With the help of the people, he started to build a Eidgah near the Veerbhadra temple. There was some quarrel about this affair on account of which Jawahar Ali to leave Rahata. Then he came to Shirdi and lived in the masjid with Baba. People were captured by his sweet talk and he began to call Baba his disciple. Baba did not object and consented to be in Chala. Then both Guru and Chala decided to return to Rahata and live there. The Guru never knew his disciple's worth, but the disciple knew the shortcomings of the Guru. Still, he never deserted him. Observing carefully his duties, he even served the master in various ways. They used to come to Shirdi off and on, but their main stay was in Rahata. The loving devotees of Baba in Shirdi did not like that Baba should stay away from them in Rahata. So they went in a deputation to bring Baba back to Shirdi. When they met Baba near Eidgah and told the purpose for which they came, Baba said to them that the fakir was angry, ill-tempered fellow. He would not leave him and that they should better go back to Shirdi without him before the fakir returned. While they were thus talking, the fakir turned up and was very angry with them for trying to take away his disciple. There was some hot discussion and altercation, and it was finally decided that both and Guru and Chala should return to Shirdi. And so they returned and lived in Shirdi. But after few days, the Guru was tested by Devi Das and he was found wanting. 12 years before Baba arrived in Shirdi, with a marriage party, the Devi Das aged 10 to 11 years came to Shirdi and lived in the Maruti temple. Devi Das had fine features and brilliant eyes, and he was dispassion incarnate and a dhyan. Many people, namely Tatya Kote, Kasinath and others, regarded him as their Guru. They brought Jawahar Ali in his presence, and in the discussion that followed, Jawahar Ali was arrested and fled from Shirdi. He went to stay in Bijapur and returned after many years to Shirdi and prostrated himself before Sai Baba. The delusion that he was Guru and Sai Baba, his Chala, was cleared away and he was repented. Sai Baba treated him with respect. In this case, Sai Baba showed by his misconduct how one should get rid of egoism and do the duties of a disciple to attain the highest end, self-realization. The story is told here according to the version by Mahalsapati, a great devotee of Baba. In the next chapter, Ramanavami festival, the masjid, its former condition and later improvement in etc. will be described. Om Sri Sai Ram.